Mount Everest is covered with bodies of those who died attempting to reach the summit. The bodies are not removed, it is costly and dangerous, so they remain to warn others that the mountain does not forgive mistakes. The Kolyma highway connecting Russian cities Yakutsk and Magadan is covered with ghost towns all over. Driving along this highway, admiring beautiful scenery until you come across yet another urbanistic corpse. It's really sad to see this wonderful region getting more and more deserted. I couldn't find a single prospering town here. Whole urban settlements are dying out. It's like when you see an animal or a person that can't be helped anymore, so you just watch them suffering in pain. Yes, life is harsh here. Yeah, this is a lost cause. No connection at all. Pampered Moscow residents who were complaining about snowy winter in 2020-2021 should be ashamed of themselves. It's been minus 55, minus 57 for weeks. What's the temperature now? It's warm now, around minus 30. This environment changes people. One has to learn to survive here. Kolyma either kills you, or it makes you stronger. Those who have adapted to these conditions do not necessarily want to leave, but they are losing the battle for decent life to government. First water was cut off, then electricity, then heating. No one would leave Kolyma, but they were first to do so. Gold mining production is record high here. How much is it? Around 10 grams, more than $400. Yeah, around that. A lot of towns here lack any public transport. How do you get around here? How would you go to a bank, for example? I would ask someone for a ride. People live here in half-deserted houses, houses in disrepair. I can't imagine what it feels like to live in these ghost houses with empty windows around. There are amazingly positive people living in these disastrous conditions. Wow. You see, I've met a millionaire here whose philosophy would never be understood by the ordinary rich. People come here to earn money, and some even manage to make a fortune. But eventually, they don't want this money anymore. I've discovered new sides of Kolyma, Yakutia and Magadan regions. I hope you will also feel more connected to this wonderful area. If you want to visit more of the most amazing places in the world, at least virtually, follow my channel, like this video, and don't forget to press the bell button. We started our trip from Yakutia. It is one of the most amazing regions in Russia. Regular viewers know that I come here every winter to have some rest and recharge my battery. This year as well. Yakutia is the largest region in Russia. It's 9 times bigger than Germany, 10 times bigger than Italy, 5 times bigger than Ukraine. If Yakutia was an independent state, it would be the 8th largest by area. A lifetime may be not enough to visit every part of the region. In March 2021, I went to explore the northeastern part of Yakutia and a part of Magadan region. That's where the notorious Kolyma highway and the Pole of Cold are located. A legendary place, Cuba Cafe. People put their stickers here. Those are mostly from motor rallies. I've put mine here as well. Cuba means crane bird in the Yakut language. They drew it them as they could. It's one of few places along the highway where you can get connection and use internet. Well, not now. There must have been some kind of breakdown, so the internet doesn't work. It's a good idea to bring several SIM cards when you are traveling to such places. Different network providers might function better in different regions, so you have to alternate accordingly. It's getting warm. Now it's minus 30 degrees. Minus 30 feels pretty warm here. I took off my hat, unzipped my jacket after minus 45 last night. Today feels like summer. Was it a long trip? No, we had a long shift before. How are you doing this year? What about the weather? Tell me everything. It's my first time here. I'm amazed by everything here. It's usually cold in December, January. Now it's warmer. It's usually minus 60. What's your job again? We are mechanics at the mine. Coal mine? Gold mine. It seems a bit dangerous to me. Isn't it pouring out? It's broken there, you see? So I tied it with straps. What could I do? Unload it? I have to haul it. You have to go to haul it, so you find your ways. If your car breaks down, you come here. Does it happen so often? Every day, every year. What do you do in life? I mine for gold. Is there a lot of gold? It depends on where you're working. Some people are lucky, others are not. Is there gold prospecting going on? Sure. Annually. There are a lot of gold deposits in Yakutia. These dumps are all along the road. They are caused by gold panning. There's a river here and dumps like this everywhere. Everywhere you look. Usnera is a rather large urban-type settlement in the eastern part of Yakutia. It is the administrative center of Oymyakonsky district, along with Verkhoyansky district. It is believed to be the coldest permanently inhabited region in the northern hemisphere. Annual mean temperature is minus 13 here. It was built by prisoners in the end of the 1930s. Just like most of remote towns in Siberia, there were always trouble with supplies here. Food was in shortage, the mortality rate was high both among free citizens and prisoners. TV became available here only in 1970s. Majority of population is involved in gold mining. However, people have been leaving the region recently. The population dropped by half since the beginning of 2000s, by 3 times since 1989. There are less than 5,000 people left in Usnera. Prisoners worked with overburden of the gold mines, built houses, roads, all the infrastructure. It was prisoners who initially built almost everything here. Under the supervision of free citizens, they performed hard labor. The schedule was extremely busy. The target results were unrealistic. They had no equipment, right? They had some equipment, but they treated it with a lot of care. Machines were considered more valuable than humans' lives. People working at construction sites or outdoors became goners pretty fast. The term goner was used for a person fully exhausted by hard physical labor. They were losing weight, they suffered from dystrophy, vitamin deficiency. They needed rehabilitation. Lucky ones got to the hospital. Meals were a bit better there. Patients also got to have some rest. They were doing so-called light labor, meaning work that was easier than their usual one. Doing these light works, they recovered a bit and then they were sent back to the camp. According to different sources, there were between 105 and 165 Gulag camps in Yakutia during Stalinism, with a total area of 1 million square kilometers, one-third of the whole region. 350,000 prisoners have been brought to Kolyma by 1942. Mortality rate was reaching 25%. That's how Russian novelist Alexander Solzhenitsyn described it. The Kolyma was the greatest and most famous island, the ferocious extremity of that surprising country of Gulag, which, though the term's geography scattered out as an archipelago, was in terms of psychology fused into a continent, an almost invisible, almost imperceptible country inhabited by the prisoners. Presidential suite of the best hotel in Ust-Nera. Wow, what a luxury! Look at these colors. Look at this picture. The walls are the color of fresh grass. A desk, a double bed, a mirror, 2 charming lamps over here. There's a flower shop on the ground floor of our hotel. I thought I would be bored here without a plant, so I've bought a plant. I'll put it here. This is the most luxurious hotel in Ust-Nera. A single room costs $40 per night. I love their choice of colors. Just look at this brick red hanger. Check out the amazing bathroom. This pink shower curtain, it's a tub, but it's also a sink. Here is a toilet. Really nice. Stranger things are happening in this hotel room. This mysterious cable goes somewhere. It bypasses the picture here. It seems like some clever scheme. I was surprised when I moved the curtain. I saw that the cable was in fact an antenna. There's numerous ice blocks behind the window. There's another one here, and here it looks like a refrigerator. The actual fridge is open, and it serves as a heater because it's warmer inside than in the room. I'm whispering because here's a hostess in the hallway, and she gets mad if people are speaking loudly. It is nice in your town. It's there a riverfront. Of course, there is. Go straight and you'll see. Is it far? Can we walk there? Of course. What's the temperature now? Minus 45. Minus 45. I'm not used to these temperatures, so it's hard to breathe. Wow, it's minus 45. We are in Ust-Nera. Amazing place. Wow. So guys, we are in Ust-Nera. It's located on very edge of the Yakutia region. It's super cold here. This is Ayumikonsky district, the famous pole of cold. Ust-Nera is a small urban-type settlement with population of 5,000 people. There used to be 10,000 in better times. People are mining for gold here, in this freezing cold environment. We left the hotel so early in the morning to enjoy this beautiful scenery. Even here, at the edge of the world, there is a standard plastic playground. They have conquered the whole country. Let's come closer, but from here it looks like Lenin pumping water. Lenin? It's Lenin. Look at his trendy hat. Lenin being very strange. This is the main spot of Usnera, the Great Patriotic War Monument. It was sponsored by a private company to mark the celebration of 70 years of the victory in World War II. There is a sign at the entrance saying that any vandalism would be considered as an extremism. There is even a private security company guarding it. I wanted to discuss the artistic style of the monument with you. But I will not to offend anyone by chance. I have some questions about this whole memorial in terms of design. In terms of the idea behind, I have no questions. Any vandalism would be considered as extremism and will be punished with fines, penal acts, and also physically. I wonder what they mean by punished physically. Will they spank the bastard right here at the riverfront? Usnera settlement got its name from the Nera River, which flows into Indigirka here. Indigirka is a great Yakut river. There's also a salad named after it. After the end of the Great Patriot War, there was a camp here. Its prisoners were building the highway. Since a lot of people died here, the highway is often referred as the Road of Bones. However, there are no real bones in the road, and there never were. You know, some people say that prisoners were buried right beneath the road. It's not true. Permafrost is a serious obstacle for building roads in these kind of regions. In taiga, in tundra. In order to avoid land subsidence, logs were laid out beneath the road. The logs are still there. They become visible sometimes when a grader is removing the surface while leveling the road. So the logs become visible and it might look like bones on the road. Maybe that's where the saying "road of bones" comes from. The Kolyma highway is around 2,000 kilometers. It's mostly a dirt road. Now some parts of the road are surfaced with asphalt. It is planned to spend more than $1 billion to repair the highway. Even though living conditions here are not attractive, people from all parts of Russia keep coming to the north to make money. However, in recent years, the flow of workers has significantly decreased. In the 1980s, high salaries used to attract around 20,000 people to Yakutia annually. Today, less than 4,000 people come to work here. How long have you been working here? Only a half a year. Only half a year. That's a lot. How long do people usually stay here? Usually for a year. They come to stay here for a year. Yes, and then it depends on you. Workers have to take a 15-day break. You can choose to spend your days off and go to the city. So you get a paycheck on a card. And here you're provided with all these essentials. Yes, everything is delivered to you. So the food is delivered to you for the whole year. How cold was it in winter? Minus 58? It was minus 58. I was talking to my mother on the phone saying it's a bit warmer today. She asked how much warmer. I replied minus 48. She was shocked, like, you call it warmer? It has been minus 55, minus 57 for weeks. Of course minus 48 is warmer. What's the temperature now? It's super warm now, maybe minus 30. What about night? It was minus 47 at night. It's getting warmer now. These weather stations were built in the 1940s when Soviet aircrafts were delivered to the USA. There is a black wire along the road. Is for the internet connection? Yes. I thought it was a joke, so the wire is just laying on the ground. What if someone cuts it? Someone will come to fix it. It feels cozier with internet. So you keep up the news, right? Yes. What are your opinion on the current events? I don't have an opinion anymore. One day they say A, next day is B. Have you heard that Navalny has been jailed? I've heard, yes. What do you think? I'm curious to hear your opinion. It was the right move to put him to jail. He was talking too much. What was he talking about? He was agitating for protests. Well, he was also investigating cases of corruptions among politicians. For example, Putin's palace. Have you heard about Putin's palace? I've heard about it, but I haven't watched the video myself. It's probably bunkum. What an amazing school! It was built in 1964. They have installed modern road signs. It's a pedestrian crossing, now it's so safe here, traffic police should be so happy. Let's go check out these houses. They look abandoned. No, wait, they're not. They're insulated in a way that makes them look abandoned. This is a typical town by the highway. Half of the buildings are deserted. I don't understand how people can live there. Everything is ruined. A legendary cafe. Its name is unclear, but it looks fancy. Cafe's Season. Tell us about this place. Do you live here? Yes. How do you like it? Fine. Where do you come from? We're from Moscow. What are you planning to do here? We're going to ask you what is worth seeing here. What are the tourist attractions? What is worth seeing? We're just living here, we're living out our days. There used to be an Arctic depot here. It was known as the best one in the north. It was like a talent factory. But after Perestroika period, it ended up in private ownership. Here is the club. This is Lenin in front of it. Yeah, that's Lenin. How many people live here? There are actually 300 people living here. Now there are 300. How many used to live here? When I came in 1980, the population was around 3,000. Out of 3,000, only 300 people have remained. What people here do for a living now? What do? They work in the school, in the hospital, at the post office, in the kindergarten. All these places are still open here. Some work at the warehouse. What about your hopes for the future? Hopes? We know that we are unlikely to ever be shut down. The town won't be shut down? No. I see. Everyone I met during this trip mentioned the issue with public transport here. Public transport doesn't have a regular schedule here, or there is none at all. The only problem is transportation. You only can get around with your own car, but what should I do if I don't have a car? Most people here are seniors, they don't drive. So there are no buses, nothing. Nothing. How do you get around then? How do you go to the bank, for example? I'd ask someone for a ride or call an ambulance. Or you can hire a... What do you mean by ambulance? Ambulance will get you to Ust-Nera hospital, so you can also go to the bank, so you have to pretend to be sick. I see. That's how we get around. Despite all this, locals stay irrationally positive. There is no transportation, food supply is not consistent, but overall life is good here. Nothing to complain about. We are now entering the Magadan region. Ust-Kachan is inhabited by several men, and one of them is local celebrity. Tell us about your life here. Life here is great. How long you've been living here? Let me count. It's my 61st year here. Right here. Right here. What do you do here? Well, I left for Magadan for a bit when I was a student. I used to play in a restaurant there. I spent around 4 years, then I was put in jail, then I came back here. But anyways, I've been living in Kolyma for 61 years. 61 years. What has changed here during these years? You know, guys, under Soviet Union, it was great. Soviet Union was this great. There were no schools here. I studied at a boarding school in Nexican first, then in Susuman. That's an administrative center. There was a 3-story boarding school. We had 5 meals a day, so we were stuffed to the gills. We were provided with clothes and shoes. All these things were free of charge. And we were also getting education. Unlike today, my son is graduating in Moscow soon. I'm sick and tired of sending money to him. Past you didn't need a penny to get education. Communists were so different from today's oligarchs. Honestly, I would kill them all. There's no excuse for them. I read an article saying that police has discovered 2 tons of money at this guy's house. I just have one question. Why do you need so much money? I understand you spend it on your woman. No, he rented a separate flat to store this cash. One question, what for? Vasily Ivanovich is a gold miner. Gold mining started here in 1930s. By that time, the gold reserve of the USSR was almost fully exhausted. Large-scale gold-prospering campaigns were organized. At first, free citizens were working here. They were attracted by high salaries and bright career perspectives. But the number of prisoners engaged in gold mining grew fast and eventually became dominating. By Stalin's death, there was a 14-fold increase in the USSR gold reserve. Not for long though, soon it was close to be exhausted again. Gold mining industry was left without attention. In recent years, gold mining has been on the rise. In 2020, there was almost 50 tons of gold extracted in the Magadan region. Only companies are legally allowed to extract gold. Individuals can get to prison for that. Nevertheless, determined gold miners are not scared. More than 10 tons of gold are extracted illegally in Russia annually. There were several attempts to make this inevitable phenomenon legal. Yet another bill about individual gold miners is under consideration right now. It might become legal to extract up to 30 kilos of gold without using heavy machinery and only within a limited area. The proposed tax rate is 10%. However, experts claim that few miners will be willing to work legally. Black market for gold extraction is booming in Kolyma for now, but locals prefer not to speak about it. So what do you do here? I pan for gold. You pan for gold? Yeah. Can you tell us how? Listen to me, turn off your cameras. Okay, I got you. No, I do it officially. I have friends here. Dima Makarov was one of them. He's from Khabarovsk, he owns a lot of land. I do not like just randomly go to the forest. Of course you can also do it in the forest. In the forest? Yeah, if you know the places. For example, if I go, of course I'll get some gold. And then you sell it? Yeah, exactly. You can do it on the white and black market. At what price? How much for a gram? Around 40 bucks. Are there a lot of people gold mining illegally? Quite a lot, I would say. Locals are those who come from the other places. Of course locals, outsiders don't know the places. What was your biggest haul? Of gold? Yes, a lot. What was your record? This year I made almost $50,000. I gave $30,000 to my son. Have you ever seen real gold? No. Can you show us? Here's some gold. How many grams are here? Maybe 10 grams. 10 grams? Approximately. So that's $410? Yes, approximately. How long does it take to pan for this amount? This can be extracted in a day. There are places when you can get this much, but those who know the places will never reveal them. I'm the only one who know them. Who would I share with? Are there any criminals here who run a protection racket? No. So everything's fine now? We're not living in the 1990s. By the way, how was it in the 1990s? Even in the 90s it was relatively peaceful here. There were no gangs? No, there was a gang that tried to operate here. They wanted to steal from the locals, so locals killed one of them and the gang changed its plans. In the last 30 years since the collapse of the Soviet Union, what was changed? Is it better now? The gold mine used to be 5-7 tons of gold annually. Can you imagine how much it is? There used to be a lot of inhabitants here, around 10,000 counting children. It's now only you. Now there's nobody. Governor of the Magadan region, Tsvetkov, came here. He was shot dead in Moscow, but he was shot too late. He beat his breast, promising he would never let them ruin this gold mine. 2 years after the gold mine was ruined, the great gold mine is no longer here. What about Putin? Vladimir Vladimirovich? Yeah, I respect him only for one thing: he has armed the military. Everything else is a mess. And it will stay like this as long as this, excuse me, keeps coming here from the USA. Irina Rodnina. She was a great figure skater. But how come she's the one deciding when I can be retired? Her daughter is in the USA. Her assets are in the USA. How can she decide for me? Or this dumb Valuev? As a boxer, he's awful. So he is a politician. As long as our politicians are former sportsmen, as long as our singers are former hairdressers, our country will not be doing well. Who do you like then? Who do I like of the current politicians? I wish they all came here, including Vladimir Vladimirovich. He swore he would not raise the retirement age. Then why did you raise it by 5 years? Why? We leave it up to 72, do we? So I went to the cemetery to check. I went searching and searching, and nobody lived to the retirement age. Everybody died before. How much is your pension? Around 350 bucks. 350? Yeah. Is it enough for living if you don't have any other sources of income? That would be enough for me, as I don't need much to survive. For others, it would be difficult. My pension is considered high, by the way. What about others? Average pension is around $220. We're in Chukotka, average pension is $190. When a loaf of bread costs 70 cents, can you survive with $190 a month? Of course not. A pack of cigarettes costs $2.1. Can you do this? Of course not. Are you kidding? Can you show us? No problem. Come on. Go, doggy, go! We used to screw like wild horses. Like this. That's crazy. I turned 70 on January 29th. Are you 70? Yes, I am 70. When you mine for gold and earn around $15,000 annually, but you live in these minimalistic conditions, well, that's just his philosophy. I guess Vasily Ivanovich got to understand something more about life than all those people chasing money so much that they need a separate flat to store cash. In my opinion, Vasily Ivanovich is one of the old generation of Kolyma inhabitants who came here to earn some money and then realized they didn't need it anymore. Kadykchan is probably the most famous deserted settlement in the Magadan region. There used to be mines, it used to be a lively place. Kadykchan had a population of 10,000 people in the 1980s. But after an accident in 1996, when an explosion killed 6 workers, the main enterprise was shut down, so there was no jobs left. By the 2010, the town was completely abandoned. 2 people were not willing to leave the unheated town out of principle. 2 years later, there's only 1 left. Today, this ghost town is a tourist attraction. The most adventurous travelers spend a night in an abandoned flat. Last year's designers from Yakutia came here. They put human figures on the walls of deserted buildings. This one boiler station, that was a breakdown here. The rumor had it that it wouldn't be repaired.
Начал массово покидать поселок. До этого они пытались еще как-то ютиться, жить.
There is Myaunja urban-type settlement next to Kadykchan. It is still half inhabited, or half deserted. It depends on how you look at it. Maunja, just like any other settlement in Kolyma, was built by prisoners. Its aim was to generate electricity. In the end of 1940s, the plan to build a large power station was first introduced. And in 1955, it was finally put in place. Prisoners worked in 2 shifts. The camp was located 4 kilometers from Maunja. Coal from Kidikchan was used at the station. The mine is 70 kilometers from here. It was like until another coal deposit was discovered where the coal seemed close to the surface, so it could be extracted using open cut. In the end of 1990s, the mines were shut down. People were displaced and the town was closed, since underground mining was much more expensive than surface one. This is a legendary place, a former community center. According to some records, it was designed by Vilya Svichinsky, one of the prisoners. After the construction of the club was finished, artists from Magadan and even from Moscow started coming here to perform. This is a truly half-deserted town. Look, the former community center is obviously deserted, while a rink over here is open. Some buildings are still used. If we look there, we can see resident buildings, some lights, while here again everything is abandoned. That's a strange thing to see, a building where some flats are occupied and the others are completely abandoned. It's not yet a ghost town, but it's becoming one before your eyes. It's like when you see an animal or a person that can't be helped anymore, so you just watch them suffering in a agonizing pain. Just like that, this town will soon die, as people will leave it for good. Let's try to enter. There's an ice rink here, something is still used here, while this part is already abandoned. There's a wooden board left here. There's a road here, but nothing to drive to. All these entrances are abandoned. I think in 10 years this town will be completely empty as well. Maybe even earlier. Maybe even earlier. They go like this. An inhabited house after an abandoned one. If you look at these huge 5-story buildings, you'll see that only 30% of it is inhabited. And these buildings is almost fully deserted. Only few people still live here. Hi! Where do you live? I live at 4th Jubilania Street. I see. What's with these houses? Are they deserted? Yes, they are. Will you move from here when you grow up? Yes. Where you will move? I don't know. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a builder when I grow up. A builder? You don't like it here? I like it here. But you still live? Yes. And everybody is living like this. Surprisingly, some really cool educational initiatives are launched here. Larger cities can only envy. At the same time, there aren't any public schools in some towns in Kolyma. The aircraft was brought here in 1985. It was about to get written off. There were 3 of them at the Magadan airport. One of them was given to us, so we installed it here. When there was a young aviators club here, there used to be a cabin for their trainings. The Susuman region team was always among the best in region model aircraft contests. Since 2009, regional model aircraft competitions are no longer held, because we are the only club of young technicians left in the region. Unfortunately, in the whole region. Yes, there's not even a Magadan. No. How many students do you have now? On paper, it's 163 children. Some of them come here to attend lessons. Others have these lessons at their schools. We are well equipped, as you can see. Of course, it could be better, but we are fine anyway. What's the population here in the past? Around 47,500 people. 47,000? Wikipedia says it was 18 at its peak. Where did you find this figure? Wikipedia. There were 22 or 23 schools here. Now the population is 4,000 people. Yes. So the population is 10 times lower now. There were 1,200 school students. How do you like it? Why people started leaving? Well, people started leaving because... After the collapse of Soviet Union? Sure. Plants were shutting down. Why didn't you leave? Where? There's nothing for me. My work is my life. It's hard to believe, but all these people literally live on gold. There are numerous deposits of gold in the Susuman region. Susuman Zolota, one of the largest gold mining companies in Russia, is operating here. The key buyer is Sberbank, the biggest bank in Russia. It is also Susuman's key creditor. Susuman Zolota has recently expanded and acquired gold mines in Zabalkaysky Krai, Russian region. In 2020, net profit of the company was $88,480,000, twice as much as the year before. In 2019, a company-funded airport was finally opened. People in Susuman had been looking forward to have it for a long time. The Susuman-Magadan route is really popular with the locals. It used to take 10 hours of highway to get between these two locations. Now it takes a 2-hour flight. The Magadan region's population had been continually decreasing for the last 3 decades. In the 1990s, people began moving for a better climate and a cheaper cost of living. Not even high rates of gold extraction can stop this out-migration. Young specialists are those who are mostly leaving as there are no career perspectives for them here. Generally speaking, only the elderly stay in the region. Prisoners used to call it Black Planet. A really harsh place. People of Kolyma are special. Magadan is a city. The highway is different. There are 2 roads here, Magadan-Susman and Tinkinskaya. There used to be many towns along them. Not anymore. Now these are just remnants of the Soviet past. Whatever people come here, of any ethnicity, they all will have to adapt to these rules. You will either be buried here, literally, or you will adapt and get the best of it. People who grew up here, like me for example, I've been living here for 40 years, become better and better each year. Wherever you want it or not. There was a situation last year, maybe you've heard. A Spanish guy went on a bike trip across the country. He claimed to be an experienced traveler and didn't listen to the warnings. On the way back, locals noticed his tent completely frozen and a bike next to it. He was about to fall asleep when they came. They woke him up somehow, took him to the car, brought him to the hospital. His arms were frozen, he was close to losing it. A Spanish cyclist, Jose Andres Abian Payeres, went on a crazy bike trip along the Kolyma highways in December 2018. The weather was freezing, -50 degrees. His fingers were frozen. At first, he was treated in Magadan and then back in Spain. There was not enough for him. In 2019, he came back to repeat his trip. This time, he's managed to reach Yakutsk, departing from Magadan.
Во время его велозаезда опускался ниже -60 градусов.
Magadan is basically Klondike of Russia. Magadan has the largest sources of gold. Gold is everywhere you dig here. You can't imagine how big the Magadan region is? Yes. Gold is everywhere here. In some places more, in other places less. Do people pan for gold illegally? No, quite the opposite. Now it's really easy to do it officially. You just have to get the license and then hand over a share. So much gold is produced here. Local gold mining companies are so rich. And why do we live like we live? Why don't they invest in any infrastructure here? Why we're so poor here? I'll explain. Speaking in military terms, a commander defines a whole squad. If a commander is weak, his squad will be weak as well. Do you agree with me? Who is the commander here? Who are you talking about? I'm speaking metaphorically. I mean the local administration. These people were appointed to take care of the region. They have everything they need, staff, money. How come they can't manage it? So it's the ex-governor's fault. Exactly. Who else? What about Putin? It's not his fault? What Putin has to do with it? Putin has the whole country to rule. This is Federal Security Service for it. There are public prosecutors, etc. Am I right? For example, an issue we're facing here is that here is no maternity hospital. I need to take her to Yagodnaya or to Magadan to give birth. That's either 100 kilometers or 600 kilometers, and all kinds of things may happen while we are driving there. So that's a mess. It is Susuman. This boiler house, which was built by prisoners in the last century, broke down several times this winter. If it breaks down completely, we're dead. There will be no heating. All buildings here are literally falling apart. We have a lot of problems here. Okay, let's take Susuman. 4,000 people live here. What is the main company operating here? Is it Susuman Zolota? Yes, Susuman Zolota. Are they wealthy? They are considered the biggest gold mining company. The biggest gold mining company. Have they done any improvements to the town? I'd say they are core of the town itself. If not for Susuman Zolota and Sber Zolota, people would be unemployed. They provide jobs. Turn left here. They just take from the region and don't give anything in return. You are wrong here. They give jobs. There used to be a huge motor pool here. It was a large employer. There used to be a cement plant here. We used to produce our own buildings material. Houses were built with our own materials. We didn't need anything exported. There used to be a primary school here, not anymore. Everything is coming to an end. People are leaving. It's sad to witness. But we try to resist as we can. It is sad, but the local river is richer in gold than any other river in Kolyma. It's a unique place. That's the paradox. You are telling me all about this gold, but there are no roads and there is no hospital. I'll tell you bluntly, Moscow takes everything away from us. I'm glad we finally agree on something. I never disagreed with you. But Putin has nothing to do with it. What Putin has to do with it? Putin has the whole country to rule. There's a unique museum of Kolyma memory located in Yagodnaya. It was created by a living legend Ivan Alexandrovich Panikarov, a keeper of Stalin's repression memories. The first exhibit items, a kettle, a hole punch and a scrapper, were brought here from a former camp called Kinjal. Then he went on expedition trips to other camps as well. The exhibition takes place in a small apartment that Ivan Alexandrovich has bought on his own. The museum is his whole life. Here you can see around 20% of what I actually have. So we are now thinking of opening something like a real museum to keep all this stuff safe. We have precious historical data about our region here, pictures, records. All these things are highly valuable. That's how many settlements there were in Yagodninsky district in 1984. Now there are 4. You pass by one on your way here, Burhala. It is about to be shut down. Then there's Yagodnaya. Then there are Debin, Sinigorye, and Orakatun. That's it. That's it. Yes. There used to be around 60 settlements here. It is classified by camps, right? Yes, everything here was handmade by prisoners, with just a few exceptions. This ox was made in the USA. Also, this spade, they got it under the Land-Lease policy. All the rest was made by prisoners. For example, I really like this kettle. Not only it looks nice, it is also leak-free. Destroy camps, also known as North Construction Trust, hosted around 870,000 people between 1931 and 1956. 130,000 of them died of disease. More than 10,000 were executed. What should we think? Before 1931, before Delstroy was created, here, not in Yagodnaya, but in general in Kolyma, foreigners were mining for our gold and illegally exported it back to their home countries. Those were Americans, Japanese, Koreans, Turks, Iranians. It was not legally regulated. The population of the whole Magadan region was 1,000 people in 1929. The region had to become inhabited to be taken care of. No money could encourage people to come here. You saw for yourself. It's freezing here. Well, at least we have roads now. Imagine there used to be nothing here, not even roads. Yes, I agree, it's cruel to send people here. But what are the options? Today, we're not republic, a type of federal subject in Russia anymore. We're a colony. If not for the camps, we would have stayed a colony from the beginning. It wouldn't be much better than now. Russian writer Varlam Shalamov is one of the most famous prisoners of Kolyma. He spent 16 years in northeastern camps. In 1950-1951, he worked at a camp hospital as a paramedic. That's how he later described life in the hospital. There was only one thermometer in a hospital of 100 beds. The value of this piece of glass was measured in a totally new scale. It was treasured as if it were a real jewel. Only very seriously ill and new patients could have their temperature taken with this instrument. In his Kolyma tale, Shalamov describes people surviving in an unsurvivable place. That's what Russian filmmaker Andrei Tarkovsky said about Shalamov's Kolyma. Dante was respected and feared for he had gone to hell, the hell he invented himself. Shalamov had gone through a real one. The real one turned out to be much scarier. This is a formal regimental headquarters. It was built in 1936. It used to be the hugest building in Kolyma. In 1946, it was converted into a prison hospital. Varlam Shalamov used to work here. There's also a commemorative plaque here. There's a room in the hospital where some artifacts from that times are collected. His room, where he stayed while working as a paramedic here, used to be located outside on the building itself. Other sources claim that the room was located on the second floor here, but that part of the building is closed now. Nothing has remained here. I mean, nothing related to the life of Varlam Shalamov. All these things were collected later in the neighboring camps, or they were sent to us from other regions. There's Kolyma hydroelectric station located in the Magadan region. Its dam is the highest in the zone of permafrost. This station produces electricity for the whole region. When it was built, the population of the region was around 500,000. Today is 140,000 people. There's no need for such a powerful station anymore. This is Sinagor urban-type settlement. It is mainly inhabited by Kolyma hydroelectric station's employees. There used to be 18,000 people living here at the best of times, as noted by the station's museum. If you look at the map now, you'll see tags people displaced, construction interrupted on a half of the buildings here. The bus station is closed, the airport is closed. We are walking around the skeletons of houses here. People from these houses were displaced already. You see there are no frames. Other houses still have frames, they still have glass windows. This is typical northern dying town. Standing here in the knee-deep snow, looking at all these deserted buildings, the hydroelectric station has a capacity of 900 megawatts, but only produces 280-290 megawatts now. So the capacity that it has is simply not needed here. Kolyma doesn't consume that much energy nowadays, and I don't think it will ever do, because obviously it is dying out. How are people supposed to live here in the future? Is it necessary to have permanent settlements here at all? What to do with all these dead buildings that give you chills when you look at them? Because those who are left here have to walk by these dead constructions every day. I can't imagine what they feel when all they see is dead houses with empty windows. There is an incredibly beautiful mountain peak seen from here. I swear it looks like Alps. At the bottom of the mountain there are dead houses with black window holes. Amazing contrast. Everywhere you look, deserted. 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 The phenomenon of towns being deserted after main employers shut down is not unique for Russia. The same happens in the USA. For example, in Alaska. There used to be a copper mines near these towns. After mines had been shut down, towns got empty. Another abandoned town, Aratukan. All these deserted buildings again. There's an amazing icy interior in one of them. There are not icicles, that's snow. When these steam snowflakes go up like this, you can ruin it simply by blowing. This is all snow, just snow. There was probably a pipe burst or something, so the steam went up and created this magical scene. But this magic happens in an abandoned building. Walking around here, you'll see that everything was stolen, even the paint, frames, floors, wiring, everything. The house is being dismantled to the core. There you go. How many people live in Aratukan? I'd say 500. And in the past, it was up to 7,000. No way! Yes, there was a mining machinery plant here. And then it got closed. Do you work here? Yes, we work around here. Do people pan for gold here? Of course they do. That's basically what most people do here. Illegally? Both legally and illegally. People do what they have to do to survive. All that mess along the road is caused by gold mining? Yes, they leave a lot of mess. And they don't clean after. Water is stinky. There is no fish in the river because all of the dirt in the water. There are environmental issues in Kolyma as well. Most gold deposits are placer ones here, like the golden powder that Vasily Ivanovich showed us. Placer mining causes damage to the river valleys, which leads to pollution. As a result, water quality is compromised, fish is dying, and the river is no longer a recreational place. Last year, WWF has discovered 1,200 kilometers of polluted rivers in Russia's far east. It was located down the stream from placer mining sites. The Ministry of Natural Resources and the Environment has confirmed negative effects of gold mining on the rivers of Magadan region. Sometimes gold miners get fined, although the fine is only $700. While the total environmental damage caused by gold mining companies in Russia was estimated at $3,062,400 in 2020. Placer deposits of gold have been depleted in recent years, so gold ore is becoming more popular. This type of mining is more environmentally friendly. The metal thing over there says, "I know there will be a city, I know the garden will blossom, since there are people like this in Soviet Union." Mayakovsky. There is no Soviet Union anymore, there are no people here, the city is not blossoming. There is only this rusting sign left. We don't know for how long such settlements will remain. People only come here to mine for gold. So humans come here, tear the ground apart, build these towns, and leave without cleaning after themselves. Buildings which are no longer used are not taken down, there is no mining site restoration. Everything is abandoned and scary. This is Atka urban type settlement. People should have already been displaced from here. It is officially died around a year ago. But I see that some people still live here. There are some houses left. I see some satellite dishes. There are also footprints. Maybe we'll meet someone here. Someone over here has a pipe and there's a smoke coming out. I guess somebody is living here. They have a sledge, a ladder, a pipe. I'm sure somebody lives here. Smoke is coming out from that side of the building. In here also. Anybody home? That's a generator. Someone downstairs is using it. They just placed it here. The flat was not looted yet. Videotapes. A mirror. A TV. The building is cut from all these utilities because everybody has left, but there's a generator here and its cable is going downstairs. It means that one of the flats here is inhabited. There must be a stove there because we saw some coal. So they use the stove, they use the generator, that's how they can still survive in this completely cut off building. Piles of stuff here. By the way, there are expensive generators they left in here. Don't open, some stuff is left, we will come to pick it up. Someone stole the heater from here. Yeah, the building will be looted soon. It's a trap. Did you get it? There is a real trap here. The point is that we don't know who actually lives here. Some kind of a hermit, not necessarily mentally stable. I will not be surprised if he shoots us thinking that we are looters. It really is a trap. If he is a war veteran, he might have hiding some grenades here as well. Scary. However, the town is said to be completely empty, but there's a generator, there's a stove, someone must be living here. Dear residents, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. May you be lucky and healthy. May you all become wealthy. May you be successful, give gifts and receive gifts. Learn to love, learn to forgive. May this year bring you luck. Adka administration. Well, it did not bring them luck. Look, the inhabitant came out. Where? Hello! He saw us and ran away. Now he has locked himself. Hello. Hi. Can we talk to you? Sure. We are passing by. Come in. Thank you. The town is said to be deserted, but here you are, living here. No, I live in Magadan. This is the house I grew up in. So it's like your country house. Yeah, that's the house of my childhood. I'm actually still registered here. What happened here? Why people left Atka? Why people left? Because they were forced to. Can you tell us more about it? Of course. First, water was cut off, then electricity, then heating. They cut off all the utilities and said that our houses were no longer registered. And provided new housing. Was it long ago? It was in October 2020. October. No one would leave, but they were forced to leave. How many people are left here? There are 3 families left here, and sometimes we come here as well. What was your job here? I've been working as a driver my whole life. So you still work? Yes, I'm always on the go. I've been working for 42 years. Here in Kolyma? How has your life here changed in 42 years? You should have been working since 80s, right? Since 1979. There's only one line in my CV, Atkinskaya Depot, nothing else. Can you imagine my pension is $220. As of today, I receive a monthly pension of $220. How can you live on this amount? Exactly, how can I live on this amount? In the north. Overall, I've been working for 46 years. I've been driving for 42. That sucks. Is it that all towns are dying out here? Yes. It happens everywhere in the north. This is not okay. But why? Why are people leaving? Why are they leaving? Because of conditions. The main reason is that there are no jobs. Okay, they move to new houses and they will never find jobs there. There are no jobs there. Nothing. They will just live on the pension and that's all. Will you leave when there is no job for you here? No, I don't plan to leave. I live and work here. I'm satisfied with that. We're like Americans here. I come here to hunt, to fish, to ride a snowmobile, and so on. Do you vote in elections? Of course, but what's the use? Did you vote for the amendments to the Constitution in 2020? Against. We voted against amendments. What about parliamentary elections in the fall? Did you vote? There's nobody to vote for there, but we'll see. For United Russia? I was born in Atka. I grew up here. Now is dying out before my eyes. I'm really sad about it, and this is so wrong. There used to be thousands of people living here and planning for their future. Today, there's just these cold inhabited houses. These houses are not demolished, this is too costly. People just leave their flats, that's it. It's even scarier to see half-deserted settlements. They are dying right in front of you like fish in a river polluted by gold mining. There are still people, but there's no future. So why they choose to stay here? This is at least some kind of job here. Some people earn thousands of dollars on illegal gold mining. There are also options to have an official employment. A truck driver can earn $1,400. A bulldozer operator, $1,800. Cook, $1,000. Where it's cold, people are good. Bad people are said to freeze here and move to south. If you are a good person yourself, follow me, like this video, and press the bell button.